All right. Let's see where we're going from here. You're good. Projection. Lots of SMT happening. YM was really the play this morning. I was watching YM this morning, and we got a decent rejection off of a low value, or the edge of a node. Also a sweep. 1 hour did the top wick. NQ's on a beast mode though. And NQ is just running. But YM was the play, I believe, since it swept off a liquidity level off of April 21st. Swept that high and ran it a little bit, mainly because the edge of the node was where it rejected. So just looking at the 4 hour, 50,089 was where we rejected. NQ is extremely strong. Looks like it has more upside potential. Have a quick look. The OptionsDepth profile. Why is my price line not showing? Show the price line. So if we're breaking up above 72.45, 72.50. That was kind of my line in the sand there. $72.45, $72.50. Additionally, it makes sense to reject here. NQ is on this rocket ship. Any trades Wednesdays and Thursday? Oh man. I tried to go all in on that one account that was expiring. Would have expired, I think, today. But I went all in and It didn't work out. Like I was kicking myself a little because there was a few trades that happened pre-market again, and I don't love pre-market trades. I want to show you something. Let's see. Yeah, you should be able to see this. So I'm just using the fixed range volume profile drawing tool on TradingView to draw basically from April 24th through to end of day April 29th, which is where the price action lingered for the most part. And one of the things I like to look for are these kind of candle formations around here, where price stalls at around a low volume node. And we got that, but it happened like at, I don't know what, this is an hour chart, so happened at about 10 p.m. I'm not really watching it. But I like to review where we reject when it comes to volume profile overnight. But I like to review it the next day when I'm up and running. And then here you can see this yellow line here, also the edge of this node. And we wicked perfectly off of it. And this data excludes the Thursday. So there were really high probability trades, I would say, off a higher time frame this week. And it happened pre-market or it happened overnight, which I'm not paying attention to. Not as much. I'm almost thinking I should like have some alerts or something. But I don't think I want to wake up in the middle of the night to take a trade on my end. But those were such perfect rejections. This one here, I think, was a bit tougher at, I think this was pre-market at around 8 a.m. I don't think there is any news besides just the same positive drift that we've been having. Like we've been getting the same news over and over, and we've just been drifting up. I suspect that we have been moving a lot slower over like the past week to 2 weeks. Yeah, since like April 17th, we've been moving a lot slower, and then suddenly we just pumped today or yesterday. But I did not expect the pump, so I didn't get to play it or anything. From a positive gamma perspective and dealers longs, we got a ton in the 70-20, 70-70 range. So if you look at the top right hand corner, you can see a bunch of premium selling that's being done above. So this is your call wall, if you will. We won't be able to break through that. There's tons of positioning. We're talking about like 16,000, 5,000 alternating. So we could see a positive drift through there if we pass this 72.50 and 72.55. like this area here. NQ still on a rocket ship. I think that was the largest monthly candle on NQ ever. I think there's somewhere around like 50 billion that's being pumped into markets by the current administration per month, which is why it's like really hard for us to have any down move at all. The options depth chart, we've been getting, today is our first day getting 1 minute updates. The only problem with that is sometimes it takes 30 seconds to a minute to load the update. So I'm finding that to be a bit of a nuisance right now. But everyone is still upside bias, I believe. Alma's upside remains upside bias. There's no unless like the war restarts or something. And if it does, it happens on the weekend. I don't think there's any real news to carry us lower. Yep, I'm definitely tracking this here. I kind of wish we got an SMT or something. But in general, it seems a lot easier to trade during overnight price action. Or Globex trading hours. Especially off of volume profile levels. Yeah, and this is kind of like the perfect spot to reject. I am a bit worried because the sizing on that trade there came off quite a bit, about half the size. So it dropped from 3,500 to about 1,400. So whoever's hanging on to that trade took profit on it or closed early or starting to take some profit anyways. I believe it is a call spread. But I don't think anything major, no major news came in yesterday. It was just end of month, and there are some hedge funds that or portfolios and portfolio managers that have to rebalance at end of month. So you kind of got that rocket ship kind of move. Lots of volume during end of month. What really bothered me though, the trade that I took and I blew up yesterday on the account that expires today, is I went long near the bottom, but for whatever reason I decided to leverage up, and obviously didn't work out well. I couldn't sit through the drawdown without hitting the max drawdown limit. But up was the path. It just took a little bit of time to work its way up once it was trying to find that bottom. I also took the trade on another account, and once I got stopped out on that one, I just didn't bother, which is why I'm sitting underneath 50K now on this account. It kind of blows, but I didn't feel the need to kind of push that account anymore since it wasn't expiring. But yeah, this is a good spot to see some sort of rejection. Really starting to hate this update. Initially, I wanted to see a run down to fill some gaps and then move up, but I mean, the gap from the open was 38. Let me see. Straddle is set to like 27. Yeah, the straddle basically takes us to the gap. Straddle high. I think I gotta move that a little higher. 27 takes us up to 65. Let me just confirm the straddle. And the straddle's at about 25 now. But prior to market open, it was sitting around 27. Yesterday we hit the bottom, the low end of the straddle, and then we pumped up to the high end of the straddle, and then pumped through it, which is quite impressive. Very funky price action here. Centroid's at 72.45, and it's also the pivot. But that was a very interesting candle on the 1 minute. I might try this on one account. Just on the eval. Watching it close here. So another 7 minutes to 10. ISM manufacturing PMI at 10. Yeah, this 5 minute candle might look quite interesting to me. I'd love to see the 15-minute close though. I don't think the 5 minute close is looking good anymore. It certainly does seem like it's going to be a positive drift up, but oh, actually VIX is kind of supporting that too. Just keeps on going lower and lower. Yeah, I want to wait for the 15-minute close and I'll see. And the 5 minute, that was a very high volume candle. YM is actually pushing back up here. This loading stuff is really annoying. 58 now. Yeah, I'm not sure if anything is going to come up from the 15-minute anymore. This just looks like a follow-through day from Friday. Sorry, from yesterday. $22.65. Yeah, I guess we're holding above. We're gonna run towards 72.80, which is nuts without a pullback. Yeah, tell me about it. 10 o'clock. What's the news? ISM manufacturing PMI down. Down from forecast, or it came in below forecast, but it's the same as the previous. The Fed's next rate move could be a cut or a hike, says Fed Logan. Yeah, it's tough. You can't even go long here. At 67, 7267 SPX. Oh my god, the loading is killing me. All right, YM made a new high a day. Almost at 7,300 ES. The move is insane. And the move is not from NVIDIA either. NVIDIA did like a massive top wick. It just like wicked off of its all-time highs and then came right back down. About 7% down from its highs. The only trade I got this morning is off of that YM top wick, or the YM sweep, and off the edge of the volume profile. And I didn't take it on YM. I ended up taking it off of the 15-minute ES chart. I think as soon as we closed a doji on ES 15-minute, I entered and just wrote it down for about 7 points. Took profit on that. That was on the live account. And then after that, I mean, I'm glad that I took profit. And the main reason I took profit was because of that 15-minute doji that formed. It was like a 6.5 point trade or something like that. one of the other guys that I trade with, he basically entered off of the NQ 1 hour top wick doji candle, and it formed at about 11 p.m. Eastern time. Actually, it would have been 12 p.m. because it was the candle close of the 11 p.m. candle. And he took it on NQ, didn't take profit once it hit 100 because he was expecting a bit more downside. Ended up taking a break-even trade. A lot of loading issues on the new update by OptionsDepth. That was a 70 rejection. All right. The upside 72.70 is a make it or break it. Market will either revert back to 72.50 or will be pinned. Here spot needs some fuel to climb the mountain. So right now it seems like we're getting that rejection at that 72.70. It's hard to fade this. Yeah, OptionsDepth is still loading. Yeah, I'm just watching this on a 15-minute chart right now. For any clues. This is Alma's upside pivot on the weekly. And this happens to be sitting around straddle high. And upside target is not too far away. But she did identify 7270 as like a pivotal point for make it or break it. But VIX is still dying. Draw fib with 012 levels on 9:30 a.m. 15-minute candle. On ES. So from the bottom of the candle to the top. So this is basically 100% of the candle so far. And 2 takes us to 73.15. And it's always, is it always off the 15-minute off the 15-minute candle of the open? I see. Yeah, that makes good sense. For the orb trading strategy, what's I actually don't even know what the take profit is and the stop loss. Do you know for off the 15-minute orb? I may use 5 or 30. I see. All right, let's figure out if this works now. And the only thing that you can use here is, I guess, fibs. Fibs and options positioning to see where, because price hasn't been up here before, so there's no volume profile except based on the session. All right, so options that's back up here. I'm gonna see if I can change the settings on the gamma chart. Colors, color scale, absolute. I'm gonna switch this to 1600. Yeah, 1600 is pretty high, and then it's insane. I previously had the dark blue set at an 800 limit, mainly because well, during times of low gamma, it's really hard to see. It's hard to see like the 200 level on the heat map, which is why I switched to 800. Previously, it used to be at around 1600, I believe. But yeah, it gets deeper and deeper positive gamma. So that's 7280, 7290. 90 is the tippy top. It ends up hitting a gamma value of 3600, 3700, closer to the end of the day. Yeah, if I switch over to the 3D view, hopefully it doesn't crash. Yeah, look at that. Now that, I would say, this to me, if I see a shape like this, it looks to me that this is totally the call wall, but it's a dealer short, it's a customer short call and a customer long call. So it's a short call spread or call credit spread, whatever you want to call it. And they're basically collecting this premium here. They're creating the attraction to that 7280 zone, 7290 zone. Especially if price is pushing up. But as you know, when you're in deep positive gamma, price pushes up, dealer hedging shorts it. So dealer hedging works against it. So we're going to get, I would assume we get some sort of grindy price action starting around here. 70, moving up to 88, grinds even more. And that's what's creating the dark blue. Just going to go back to the daily here. I change my setting back. Very glitchy. Oh, I see a response now. 15-minute high or low will be the stop loss. If either side breaks out and take profit at 1.5 or 2 times and 2.5 times Fibonacci levels. I see. Okay. I understand now. That makes sense. I think we're just in it for the grind now. Where are we sitting at? 68, 70. I think we're in for a boring day. All right, so VIX looks like it settled down a little. Might have bottomed. It bottomed out about like 10.10. Seems to be trying to move up right now. Though not by much. Like we're talking about 0.07 difference. Maybe 0.1. I wanted to short around there, but I just couldn't pull the trigger. Yeah, I agree with you on that all-time high. Is fibs. Either fibs, and I guess like options positioning does give you some insight, which makes me not want to trade long today at all. But I also don't want to trade short. Like I wanted to see a 15-point pullback from here on ES. But I don't think it's going to happen all at once. It's going to be extremely slow. Yeah, there was like that 15-minute divergence at the highs. And then you, or 5-minute, whatever you want to call it, or 1-minute SMT divergence. 5-minute did that nice top wick, though low volume. Yeah, now we're getting a somewhat of a pullback here. I think a 30-minute closed doji too on NQ. Did you see anything from a order flow perspective at the top there? Just curious. I didn't see anything using the bubbles. That bubble indicator. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I didn't see anything on my end either using the bubbles. This is just like a candle formation play. But it's also still off that 7270 area that, that Alma was talking about. Because she did say to the upside, 7270 is a make it or break it. Market will either revert back to 7250 or will be pinned. 7270 SPX, by the way. Sorry, I should clarify. And I wish OptionsDepth was working so I can see positioning, but I can't. Oh, here it is. Whoa, 7280 came off. Wow. That's a big one. 7280. Okay. That's something worth paying attention to. 7300 to 7150. Okay. Looks like it finally loaded. Check depth view. 7280. 7280 originally had 16,000 positions of dealer shorts, and they closed out. When did they close out? It's a question. $72.80, 6,000, 1020. Already down to 6,000. Wow, this is quite the pullback. And a 30-minute doji on NQ, holy smokes. Signaled the pullback really nicely. And then you also have the SMT on the lower time frames. I'm kind of shocked from an order flow perspective we didn't get anything there. There's a VWAP tap on ES, VWAP, and POC.